He who cannot be a good follower cannot be a good leader. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. Wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow ripening fruit. Our problem is not that we aim too high and miss, but that we aim too low and hit. Happiness is a quality of the soul, not a function of one's material circumstances. To appreciate the beauty of a snowflake, it is necessary to stand out in the cold. The best things are placed between extremes. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Those who know, do. Those that understand, teach. A friend to all is a friend to none. It is our choice of good or evil that determines our character, not our opinion about good or evil. Man is by nature a social animal. An individual who is unsocial naturally and not accidentally is either beneath our notice or more than human. Society is something that precedes the individual. Anyone who either cannot lead the common life or is so self-sufficient as not to need to and therefore does not partake of society is either a beast or a god. The weak are always anxious for justice and equality. The strong pay no heed to either. The more you know you don't know. To perceive is to suffer. The high-minded man must care more for the truth than for what people think. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over self. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Love well, be loved, and do something of value. A fool contributes nothing worth hearing and takes offense at everything. Criticism is something we can avoid easily by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. Learning is not child's play. We cannot learn without pain. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. The worst thing about slavery is that the slaves eventually get to like it. Courage is the mother of all virtues because, without it, you cannot consistently perform the others. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal. Hope is a waking dream. Courage is the first virtue that makes all other virtues possible. Life is only meaningful when we are striving for a goal. Through discipline comes freedom. Be a free thinker and don't accept everything you hear as truth. Be critical and evaluate what you believe in. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Knowing what is right does not make a sagacious man. The most important relationship we can all have is the one you have with yourself. The most important journey you can take is one of self-discovery. To know yourself, you must spend time with yourself. You must not be afraid to be alone. The wise man does not expose himself needlessly to danger, since there are few things for which he cares sufficiently. But he is willing, in great crises, to give even his life, knowing that under certain conditions it is not worthwhile to live. Those who educate children well are more to be honored than they who produce them, for these only gave them life, those the art of living well. Greatness of spirit is accompanied by simplicity and sincerity. No great mind has ever existed without a touch of madness. First, have a definite, clear practical ideal, a goal, an objective. Second, have the necessary means to achieve your ends, wisdom, money, materials, and methods. Third, adjust all your means to that end. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. Dignity does not consist in possessing honors, but in deserving them. At the intersection where your gifts, talents, and abilities meet a human need, therein you will discover your purpose. Anybody can become angry. That is easy, but to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living differs from the dead.